scale. The size of these things. It happens, they grow back, but the size of this. So that's never not going to be stressful, moving an Asian arowana to a smaller tank. What am I doing? He's in here now. He lost a scale. That's common. It does happen when you move an arowana. It doesn't matter. They grow back almost, within a couple weeks. He's in a smaller tank and it's not even filled up all the way. I put these massive rocks on it in case he freaks out. But the reason he's in here is simple. This is a temporary holding tank until we get him into his new aquarium, which is, well, this one's even smaller. That's a 75 gallon. Technically, this is actually going to be the filter for his new aquarium. We have to build an entire system from the stand to the filtration, a brand new scape, you name it. But we're not going to build the tank because we already did. You see, the next thing I have to do is drain this tank and get out all of the plants. I want them saved because there's literally hundreds in there. I'm going to only save the cryptocorin. This is the cryptocorin. It's a little cloudy in there now because I actually already took out all the rocks, so I knew the Asian arowana was going to smash around, so I took out all the rocks and kind of piled them all up here. I'm going to explain what I'm doing with them in a second. I'm only keeping the cryptocorin. I'm not taking the dwarf Sagittarius. Maybe I will if there's room, but the cryptocorin is so lush and I want to reuse it in another aquarium, but not in the Asian arowana tank. I might, we'll see. And in order to save it, underneath the 700, I set up one of the 60-gallon acrylic tanks I built. I put a Finex Vivid Plus 3.0 aquarium light on it because I want to not only save the plants, but I want to propagate them myself. We have so many empty aquariums that are about to happen by just kind of moving a few things around that I'm going to need a lot of plants. And since I already have a lot, I want to keep them alive, and this is where I'm going to put them. Because again, I want the gallery to be a little bit more purposeful. I want to propagate my own plants. I want to breed my own fish, breed my own shrimp, you name it. Oh, and there's way too many plants in there. Eel's doing great. This is just a holding tank. This is just a holding tank. That's obviously just a holding tank. And don't worry about the look. This is all going, we're going to transform this here relatively shortly. So after I get all the plants out, drain the tank, remove all the substrate, drain the sump, and then that's when I can rebuild or build a new filter. Once the filter's done, that's when I'll be able to put it underneath the stand, disconnect all the plumbing, move this tank from here to here. I'm so happy that it doesn't gotta go a far distance or gotta go really high up in the air. This stand's just a little bit taller. Get the stand in place, and then we're going to rescape it. Now that I'm looking at the cryptocorin, I think I'm going to potentially reconsider what I wanna do, but let me show you the idea first. Now, not exactly like this, but kind of like this, with all of these round river stones down the center of the tank, leaving around 2 feet on the end open and a foot on either side. Basically just an island of these round stones. Now we're going to surround it in this substrate here that I've already kind of created. And believe it or not, this is 2 different types of pool filter sand. We have my typical, really fine sand, and then there's like thicker gravel almost mixed in together. I've already pre-washed it as well. It doesn't look like a lot, but believe it or not, that's around 80 pounds. And I think that's going to be enough. I just need a dusting. And that idea doesn't sound that great, but it would look incredibly natural from there, because I got to move the Tropheus aquarium as well. I'm going to take all of the Anubias, because it's just doing so darn well in this tank. Again, with the Finex light, and they have to get a new tank. That's actually going to be their tank, and I'm going to rescape it differently than what they have now, because we have so many beautiful Tropheus, but they spend a lot of the times just literally hiding. So we'll see what happens there. Man, this tank is beautiful though. Kind of sucks to take it apart, but the next one's going to be even better. And once it's rescaped, we'll fill the tank back up, get the plumbing up and going, and then move the Asian arowana over to it. The downside is, I don't want him in that 180 too long. I want to get all of this done today. I'm looking at around 8 to 12 hours of continuously a lot of it's going to be waiting for water to fill and drain. I can move really quickly if I have to. And once the water gets down to here, I can start taking out a lot of the plants. But it's all going to be so worth it because we're going to have my Asian arowana in a tank that I specifically built for him like 10 years ago as a peninsula island themed aquarium. I don't know how I feel about the plants going in it. Anubias will be fine, and having large Anubias in with the Asian arowana is kind of an interesting idea. We'll add some greenery and more natural kind of look to the tank. And the round stones ensure that he's not going to get hurt. Plus, since it's a peninsula and like directly in the middle of the gallery almost, I do also want it to have some sort of an aquascape element to it. And so far, that's just the idea that I came up with. Now, I have until almost the end of the day to change those plans, and I just might. So what I'm going to do is everything that I just said that I'm going to do next after moving the arowana, the next thing I'm going to do is tear that tank down, and I'm going to do that in the next video. This is probably going to be like a 4 or 5 part series with it ending with adding the Asian arowana to the tank. And this is essentially the first tank in the new concept of the aquarium gallery that is really going to inspire everything else. So we've got to do not only a good job, but I want it to be absolutely gorgeous. I think one of the things I might do with the plant idea is try some Anubias, see what that looks like, and then move on to other plants. I'm really excited about the setup. I'm not looking forward to draining this, taking out hundreds of pounds of substrate. But in the next video, I'll show you exactly how I do it and save all of those plants. If you want to see any of that, you're not subscribed to this channel yet, please make sure you do. As this is draining, I'm going to edit this video right now and upload it so that as I'm doing all this, I'm going to go in the comments with my soaking wet hands when I'm not actually doing something and see what your guys' feedback is. I think this is going to be a great idea. And you're probably wondering what's going to go there once this is gone. Well, the 180-gallon sump is going to remain almost in that location. It's going to be pushed over, put up onto a tiny stand, but it's going to turn back into a fish tank. And then 2 75-gallon tanks, just like this one, right above it. So by the time we move him just over to here, we're going to have 3 more large tanks there, 6 along this wall. And it looks like I'm just continuously adding fish and stuff everywhere, but it's purposeful and with meaning. And by the end of this series, and by the time, and I'm hoping I can get everything done within a couple of weeks. And then, guys, we got to go fish shopping because we're going to need a lot. But they've got to fit the idea of the gallery, and I'm going to cover that in a future video as well. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know what you think. I'm already sweating because I'm always nervous moving my arowana. But he'll be fine because he's like 10, 11 years old, maybe 12 years old. I've grown him since he was like a baby. Subscribe if not already. I'll see you in the next one, which probably tomorrow or the next day.